Good morning, good night, good afternoon. If you're new here, hello, I'm Melissa. So you may notice, if you are used to seeing my commentary every week for it just like that, this video is going to go up a few hours later, and that's because your girl came back super late from the Beyonce tour, the Beyonce show in Tampa, and I am so tired. I could not wake up super early to do this, but I'm up now and I'm gonna watch it, do the commentary, upload and edit and all of that, and yeah, let's watch the episode. Hey, what's up, you guys? Before we get started with my commentary, I want to remind you guys to subscribe. Some of you guys, based on the analytics, are watching these commentaries every single week and not subscribed yet. I don't know what you're waiting for. Help a girl out. I have this wild dream of maybe reaching 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Could be possible. It will be if you subscribe and share it with your friends. And also hit that like button. The like button is very important because it helps to elevate the visibility of this video. And it honestly helps the creators to keep on being motivated to create when we are getting engagement on the video, because you never know who's watching. It's just me and my camera. So this episode just felt sad, a lot of sadness in my opinion, because of what is going on with Aiden and his family, obviously, and then also kind of feeling bad for Miranda. I know that they did break up, but to hear yourself be the butt of a joke in a relationship that was pretty significant in your life. I mean, that is a situation where she kind of broke out of her comfort zone and kind of like left behind everything she knows and just like went for it. Miranda went for that with her entire heart and soul. She was going with her instincts for once. She was going with like her heart instead of just thinking about things with reasoning and whatnot, as we usually have seen her do throughout the entire show. So I can understand that being really hard and really hurtful for her to hear. She should have maybe let Che know that she was going to go, but then Che probably wouldn't have had most of their jokes written down and wouldn't have done the show maybe, because it seems like the bulk of their set was going to be jokes about that relationship. And I understand. I think they are correct in saying that comedians usually take the things in their lives and make it funny. They take pain and they make that funny. But it's still hard. It's still hard. And I wish that they didn't leave things badly. Like I said, I think it was a very significant portion of both of these individuals' lives. And some part of me wishes that they could somehow still be friends. I like how they brought that back around, because back in the show, Miranda was the type of person that was not able to easily just be friends with an ex. And I'm not sitting here saying that's what everybody should do. I think it's so circumstantial. It just depends on the situation and the people. You know, I think it's okay for you. It depends how it ended. I mean, they're trying to make her feel a little bit guilty about like, oh, you just throw away people. And I'm just like, what if that's like the healthy choice for some person? What if the healthy choice for that person is to completely cut things off? You know, it could be a little bit different when you are a Miranda and Steve and you share a child. You know, you don't want to completely cut things off because you obviously have a family together. You share a kid, but you know, she didn't necessarily have to continue being friends with Che. And I know earlier I said I wish that they would still end things nicely, and it's because I like both of these characters individually. So it would be nice theoretically, right? Theoretically, it'd be nice to see them still be friends, but if it's healthier for their mental health to just not be friends anymore, I think that's okay. We have a celebrity cameo in this episode. We see Sam Smith. For a while when they first showed up on screen, I wasn't sure if they were playing themselves or a character in this world, but Sam Smith is playing Sam Smith. And because they are in the episode because Charlotte is selling them a painting. And I think it cost over $100,000. So because she's made that sale, they usually celebrate by going out for drinks with the girls. And Charlotte is trying to get home because, you know, she's got dinner to cook. She's got to deal with homework. She's got to deal with her husband. So she's being convinced by her coworkers, no, stay, let's celebrate. And you know what? She stays and she celebrates. And not only does she celebrate, but this girl gets drunk off of the margaritas. She throws her drink in a freaking cup and she has no idea what happens to her phone. She comes back home. Her kids and her husband are pissed off, livid, worried. And throughout this entire episode, we see her trying to navigate her work life and her family life because she keeps getting calls, texts for these emergencies. And then she calls her partner, to step up and help out. And he is also acting like he's annoyed. He's like, but wait, I have my briefs that I'm doing. I think this type of fight is realistic because both of these adults are people they have careers, they're working, but they also have kids, and so they have to navigate it. I think fights are to be expected, but I just wish that Harry was just a little bit more understanding, because out of all of the Sex and the City men, I always kind of like rooted for him the hardest because I just love how he and Charlotte got together. Like he was completely unexpected for Charlotte. Like she never imagined herself with a guy like Harry, but then she fell in love with him. So I always love that love story. I really liked him because how much he was into her and how much he loves her. So I just wish he showed up in the relationship with more understanding, because she went back to work. So obviously that means you're going to have to put more effort into your role in the household with the children. There is a big announcement about Lisa's documentary. They want to turn that into a 10-part series. And Charlotte is announcing this to anyone who will listen. It is a very exciting time. And Lisa, from last episode, as you remember, she is pregnant. She has not told Charlotte yet. She tells Charlotte. Charlotte is putting Lisa's mind at ease, saying it's okay. Like, you are a badass. You'll be able to be pregnant and you'll be able to handle this series. But Lisa is really, really, really freaking out. She's feeling so stressed about it. And then she tells her husband about what is going on. She kind of like, in the middle of the night, she screams at him like, why didn't you get a vasectomy? And he's like, 8 years ago? She's like, yes. Why didn't you get it done? And Herbert is like, I thought that was the hormones talking. Like, what you mean? And she's just really pissed off. I do like the fact that they bring up the discussion of abortion in the episode, because I think it was a realistic thing, because he tells her, because she calls him out saying that, like, oh man, what did she say? It's kind of like I need help. It's all on me. And then he's like, look, oh yeah, she tells him that, like, we have 3 kids now and you still don't help me enough. And we're about to have this 4th one. And then he's like, look, you're right. He owns up to it. He is like, you're right. So if we have to talk about making a different type of decision, then I support you. It's about your well-being. And I appreciated that topic of discussion, because first of all, he's owning the fact that he doesn't help her out enough. And then he reminds her, I support you about another decision that we can make, and that is the topic of abortion. They don't say it in the episode for whatever reason, but obviously, read between the lines, that's what it is. And then she's like, I had thought about that, but I can't. I'm just going to have to deal with the reality of what this is. I just have to accept this new reality. We take that for what it is, and she, in her mind, is not going to have the abortion. But later on in the episode, she wakes Herbert up because she is bleeding and they have to go to the hospital right away. But Lisa knows in her bones that it's already too late, as we all know what this is. She's having a miscarriage. And so that's what that is. I'm interested to know how they will deal with the after effects of this, if at all, because sometimes they just kind of like skip over stuff, or things are like 5 months in advance already, and we don't really get to see the development and growth in the emotions all that much, which is kind of annoying, and I will touch upon later on. But yeah, there is a miscarriage that happens. We'll see how they deal with that. Can we talk about Naya and her shitty ex again? This man has the audacity to send his ex-wife a baby shower invite with the registry attached. Who does that? And I don't even think they ended amicably. I just feel like he's like another level of being an asshole. Like, you knew that was a sensitive topic for her. She had fertility issues, and that ended up being the thing that kind of broke you guys apart, because while she was okay with the idea of not having children, you were not, and you made her feel bad for it. That's what caused your divorce. You go on and then you moved quickly with another person, fine. You get that person pregnant and then send your ex-wife who had fertility issues and all that, you send her the baby shower invite. Like, what kind of monster does that? I wish bad things happen to him. But Naya, who I get the feeling is still butthurt about this whole situation, which is really shady and emotional and understandable, she ends up buying a quite expensive gift for her ex-husband because in her mind, she wants that to be a reminder to the ex-husband that this expensive gift came from my ex-wife. I don't know if that was, maybe that was cathartic for her, but I feel like for me, I would have acted like I never got, like, oh, the invitation must have got lost in the internet. I never received it. Should have ignored it. Because I feel like, or on the other hand, it could possibly show her ex-husband that she don't care. She's moved on. Here's a gift. But, and for me, I would pretend that I didn't see it. I wish better for Naya. I want us to see her move past this because everything is through like a screen, you know, like she's seeing him on Instagram, she's seeing invitations from him. We're not really seeing them interact with each other IRL. So therefore, like, why is he still a part of the storyline? I'm okay with them taking Niall's ex-husband out of the story completely because I'm over it. I want better for her. I want happiness for her. Speaking of single ladies, we got a quick scene with Sema getting busy. Anytime she shows up, I get so excited because that type of character is my favorite type of heroine in a story. I love when we have a heroine in a story that's just kind of more guarded and she's not grumpy, but she's just really kind of like careful and she acts really carefree, but you know, she's obviously has some walls up because of whatever has happened to her in the past, and she slowly and surely lets people inside a little bit. I love the fact that she let it slip out to Ravi that she loves him during sex, which for a moment, I thought, is she drunk? Is she high? Oh, she loves this man and she has told him? Like, I felt very confused. But apparently she was completely sober. I guess she was caught up in the moment. I am mad, though, that we have not seen an actual relationship development happen between these two. I think they kind of did Sema dirty because it's a character that they've introduced. She is fabulous. She's awesome. She's Carrie's new friend. And then they introduced this new love interest for her, Ravi, who, you know, has no problem going toe-to-toe with her. And also he lets her know that he's into her and he likes her. And we get some like hot sex scenes that last like 2 seconds. But then we don't get to see the actual emotional connection happen between the two of them. And I absolutely hate that. I don't know why we are deprived of that. If you're going to add in this new interesting character, why not write more for her so that we could see and be rooting for that and to be invested more? I'm invested in seeing her happy, but he is such a new character that I don't really know what's going on there. Like, what is his history and background? Like, is he somebody who truly really deserves her? I don't know. I want to be like rooting for this. I want to be rooting for love, for her happiness and the relationship. At the end of the day, I am rooting for her happiness because I love the Sema character. But you know, I want to see some more dates. I want to see him looking in her eyes. I want to see a little bit more push and pull where he's, you know, he's like pursuing her and chasing her down and like just trying to get her to see like why they're good together. But none of that, we don't get to see any of that, which pisses me off. Why do that, writers? I'm missing out on Sema's love story. I'd mentioned at the top of this video that this episode just seemed a little bit more somber than the rest of them. We are told that Stanford is staying in Japan to be a monk, and he has given up everything to Anthony, which I found sad because I found it so hurtful that it happened like that. You know, Anthony hasn't heard one word from Stanford for an entire year, and he just decides to stay in this foreign country and give up everything. And I did feel bad for Anthony. But this could also be this clean break that Anthony needed to move past old shit and just move forward with the new shit, because in this episode, he and his new man are getting it on, and then when it's Giuseppe feels like it's his turn to fuck Anthony, Anthony's like, no. I'm like an old person. That's not how we do things in the old gay world. But like Giuseppe's like, why not? Who cares? You could be the woman, I could be the woman. Why does it matter? Like, it's all love. So this is, Anthony's not used to this and he's taken aback. So I think this whole like Stanford staying in Japan is like the kick in the balls that Anthony needed so that he can open his mind up more about the new ways that he could navigate this new relationship. Because I mean, Giuseppe is cute. He's charming. He is trying to get in there in this like closed heart that Anthony has. But Giuseppe is there being loyal and being very much into Anthony and not giving up so far. So hopefully we'll see that relationship flourish as well. I don't think I've talked about this yet, but at the end of this episode, we see Aiden break down because his son has gotten into a really, really bad accident where he has broken his collar and both of his legs. And I think Carrie tells him, it's okay, breaks heal. And I'm like, well, we don't know if, you know, it could heal incorrectly, and you don't know if he's going to be the same person that he was before the accident where he's, you know, physically able to do things. So I feel like that was kind of like wrong for her to say, but you know, in that moment it's like, what is the right thing to say? I get it. I felt like at any point of this episode Aiden was about to maybe break up with Carrie. Maybe he changed his mind. I just felt like there was, to me, it felt like he had this kind of like cloud, this dark cloud over his head throughout this episode. But maybe that was him thinking about the different mistakes that he's made with Carrie, because they do talk about that while they're in bed together. Because in the last episode, she talks about the mistakes that she's made. And then Aiden owns up to some of the mistakes that he has made in the past with their relationship. I do like how he brings up that he was just being too pushy with her about locking it down and getting married. But he has a new perspective now, seeing his relationship. Like, he experienced a divorce, and it's like a marriage, you know, the papers and the rings, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to lock the person down and stay together forever, because divorce happens. It just does. That is the reality we live in. So I like that he brought that up. And I'm wondering if we will see some type of breakup or like a break, because I imagine he's going to have to stay in Virginia for a bit while his son is in the hospital healing, because the way he broke down, he just felt so guilty because his son was in the car wanting to go back to the farm to go to his dad's house. And because Aiden wasn't there, Aiden feels so guilty. And seeing him break down like that was really hard and sad. We'll see how everything goes. We only have one more episode. Can you believe it? 11 weeks of doing this with you guys. I had a lot of fun. I feel like we were just like on FaceTime talking to each other about the show. Let me know in the comments if you feel like this episode was good or bad. I haven't rated it yet. I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 flowers, because I just felt like it was a bit somber. And there are things that are just not as developed as I wish that they would be. They just kind of leave some characters on the wayside, and it's really annoying. And then some characters just like refuse to evolve. So that's just leaving me frustrated as a viewer. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 flowers. Let me know what you guys rate it. And I'll catch you guys next week for the very last episode. Episode 11. I can't believe we're already at the end. And if you guys haven't already, please hit that bell for the notifications after you subscribe, because it would help me out if you subscribe and hit the thumbs up. And I'll catch you guys next time.